What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the first episode in our coverage of the Banner Saga 2. Very excited right now. I'm actually trying to take this slow because I'm so excited about this game that I know I'm going to trip over my words and my commentary is going to be all over the place because this is one of those games that I've waited for a very long time. I haven't looked at any information on it. I haven't followed its development at all because I wanted it all to be a surprise the first time I went through the game, and you're going to experience that here with me. Now, if you don't want to watch the Banner Saga 2, I get it. This is going to be spoilery as hell. The game comes out next week. I've got it about a week early, which is really cool of the developers to do. We're going to start playing it now, but I understand some people are not going to want to ruin the game for themselves because this is definitely a narrative-driven game. And whereas there are choices where the game can diverge and you can change things around quite a bit based on your choices, people are going to want to make those choices blind for the first time. That's part of the fun of the game, is having to go with your gut and just dealing with the consequences. Banner Saga has been a game and will always be a game where it goes from bad to worse. There's not a lot of good options in Banner Saga. You're either selling somebody out or you're selling somebody else out, or you're having people die due to famine and plague. The game follows the travel of a convoy that you are leading that's trying to run away from mankind's extinction event. Basically, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world. That whole thing, that song is super on point here because bad things are happening. This is the end of the world event, and we're trying to outwalk it. There's lots of hiking in the last game. There's going to be lots of hiking in this one as well. So anyways, I get it if people don't want to watch. Still, the Banner Saga was one of those games that really had me enamored when it first came out, and so it was a no-brainer. This was definitely going to be played on our channel, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, without further ado, let's start the game on up. I was going to watch the recap so you guys would know the storyline of the last game, but I'm pretty sure it'll probably do it when I go into the new game, and anything that it doesn't, I'll go ahead and explain along the way so that you'll know exactly where we're jumping in. Now, I know somewhere along the line it was going to allow us to import our save from the previous game. That's not going to matter for me because the game came out so long ago that they didn't have Steam saves to the cloud integrated, and I've changed computers a couple times since then, and unfortunately, the save is long gone. But I'm sure they'll have some kind of like Knights of the Old Republic type deal where we answer questions or something, and I'll try to remember what decisions I made along the way because I'm pretty sure I remember most of the things that happened in the last game. I don't know, it's been a while. It's been a year or so since I played it, but I remember vaguely what went on, so let's do this thing. Alright, so we gotta choose a hero. Rook, yeah, I can import the save game, but I don't have the save, so Rook is gonna be the hero because, as I recall, we allowed Alette to die in the previous game. If you don't remember, I had Rook leveled up as one of my main heroes. Alette was not leveled up at all, and she had to fire, somebody had to sacrifice themselves to fire the silver arrow that killed Bellower, and I'm pretty sure I picked Alette because he was leveled up. Overcome with grief from the death of his daughter at the Battle of Borsgard, Rook, a skilled hunter and proven leader, wonders why anyone would still follow his lead. With the help of a lifelong friend, the giant Varl Ivor, perhaps he can change the tragic pattern of losing those who depend on him and ensure the caravan's safety on the long journey to the human capital of Arborang.
Tíminn líður áfram, eins og straumþung á sem fleytir okkur áfram. Time continues washing over us, moment after moment, like waves on a coast. Some more fierce, more violent than others. So few of my kind, the giant war, remain alive. Even so, I find myself wondering if humans, while able to bear children, suffer more for the loss of loved ones. Several weeks have passed since we slew the Sundren known as Bellower, but the chaos of the world did not wither as we hoped. The world is breaking. We sail aboard hastily crafted ships for the safety of Arborang, the human capital. But the river curses us with a clear view of the dredge, assaulting another hopeless village.
Move away from the glowing rocks. This one's mine. Got a sling stone to the side of the head. No! To the depths with you! Keep killing them. Damn it, Rook. Quit running ahead. Drag around the screen to see your surroundings. Click the check mark to continue. Alright, so there it is right there. These portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your heroes are blue. The enemy is red. It is now your turn to act, and we are acting as Ivor, the great one-armed Jarl, or Warl, I think is how they were pronounced it. But anyways, I call him the Varl the entire game, so you just got to deal with that, unfortunately. Movement has 4 action. This ring shows that Ivor is active. The blue tiles around him show where he can move. Some heroes fill more tiles than others. The Horned Heroes are a race of giants called Varl. They take up 4 tiles each. Humans take a single tile, and this can have a massive impact on your strategy. Indeed, it can. You want to use the Varl to block holes and things like that, whereas human beings, not so good at blocking holes. And additionally, these guys are great at soaking AoEs because they're so big. Humans tend to get wiped out in large numbers when you have them grouped together and they get caught, just like these guys did over here. Just because they're so small, you can kill a lot more of them with one attack. Alright, so it wants him to go over to here. We'll go ahead and confirm that. If you're wondering about the stats down here, we have Break, which is the amount of damage you do to armor. You have Strength, which is your damage and your health. This is one of the unique things that you're going to have to get used to with the game. There's also Armor. Armor gets sundered off, and then once Armor gets low enough, you can actually surpass it. I think Armor has to be lower than your Strength or something like that before you can deal damage. It's been a while since I played last. Willpower, I think, allows you to... Basically, it's kind of like Fate from Shadowrun, or Edge. I'm sorry, Edge. Where it allows you to kind of edge things a little bit and shake them into your favor. He should be able to one-shot this guy. To target an enemy, click the tile on which they stand. Heroes' tiles are blue, enemies are red. I will select your tile, sir. You can now choose to attack the strength or break his armor. The numbers beneath each icon show what damage you will do with that stat. And so, yeah, he's... Oh, never mind. He's got 4 armor left. We deal 12 damage, so 12 minus 4 gives us 8, and that's the calculation that they're making. Let's go ahead and break this. We will break him. For Odin. Strength counts as health. Yes, I know. Yep. I just explained all that, so that's all good. And then that right there, that's going to be this stat, which allows you to basically make you deal more damage, as I recall. Like, increases your damage by a little bit or allows you to sunder a little bit harder. You kind of want to save this stuff. That dude just juggled a knife on his finger. It must not be very sharp. I sunder you. And so there's a promotion. He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. Without an enemy to reach, this dredge grunt will choose to smash an obstacle in his way. Obstacles on the board will make you change tactics. So plan wisely and make them work to your benefit. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to preface all this and just let you know that I suck at strategy games. This is probably not going to go super well. It's Hakon's turn. He's out of range of enemies, but all heroes can use willpower to boost their actions. And so if I move him to right there, by clicking on gold tiles, the hero can go further than usual at the cost of 1 willpower for each step that includes a gold tile. And red pulsing tiles beneath the enemy show how close you'll have to be in range. Oh yeah, okay, so that's good. It's nice that they gave me a refresher course because frankly, I could use it. Clicking your hero's tile at any time will also bring up combat options including movement, ability, attack, and end turn. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but Hakon, that's what I remember about this guy, is he's got a whirlwind that, like, seriously, you had to use it. Like, it was one of those abilities that if you weren't using it liberally, it actually swung battles in the enemy's favor. Like, you relied really heavily upon this. Standard attacks, actually, maybe he slams the ground in front of him, but somebody had, like, a whirlwind or something like that. The ability description appears in the tooltips below. Yes, rank 1, strength damage plus 1, break target, break added to heavy impact. Cuckoo. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to hit... Oh, they want me to do this one right here. This is one of those carefully curated things. A powerful strike. When there is only one enemy left, heroes enter Pillage Mode. During Pillage Mode, each hero moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. check the initiative to see how the order has changed. It's kind of like Blitz mode. If you ever played... Well, anyways, it's kind of inspired by it. But if a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to gain 1 willpower. A Leo will rest his turn. Okay, hopefully he gets the Oscar for it. Looks like the dredge is in some trouble. Rook won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower will be used to boost his damage. So we'll go in right there. And then we'll add 1 to it. And there it is. Down he goes. It is possible that Rook is actually not as good in this playthrough. I don't know if it's... We're not finished. Was he going to take scalps? He's out here taking trophies after his daughter died? I can't blame him. I'd be ice cold if that ever happened to me. I'd be in rough shape. I feel like this probably wasn't his brightest decision. Like, among the decisions that he's made so far, this is probably one of the poorer decisions. Well... I guess we'll start it off. I mean, I think this is one of those battles that you're meant to lose. Yeah, I had him built to Sunder armor in the previous game, so I'm hoping they'll re-allow me to put my skill points in, is what I'm really hoping for. Willpower it! Ah! Your armor will be damaged. You will remember me forever by the stain upon your hauberk. A final blow directed at your head is deflected, and giant horns slam into the dredge surrounding you. Ivor pulls you to your feet and away from combat as other fighters from your caravan rush in to finish off the enemy. Ivor moves you past the crowd of worried villagers, ensuring you can stand on your own. I don't know what you were... He stops speaking as the village chieftain approaches. A Varl leader saving a human village from... those things. Legends are made of much less. No Varl leader, just Ivor. Those things were dredge, like the stories you probably heard as a kid. And it was Rook here who ordered us to stop. Forgive me, and maybe it's this never-setting sun, or the dredge, or the deaths of so many of my clansmen, but I'm not myself. The man's eyes appraise you, and he quickly nods. Do we appraise for a high value? I hope so. I am Leo the Skald. Were you trying to drive the dredge all the way back north by yourself? I wouldn't stop there. Leo looks into your eyes for a moment before recoiling. Something terrible must have happened to have such hatred for them. A topic for another time, Skald. Maybe. Of course. Mind if I ask of news from Borsgard? We heard rumor that the Sunder Bellower was laying waste to the town. More than a rumor, but he's been dealt with. By your clan? Your Sunder Slayers? The term makes Ivor wince and ends Leo's excitement. But what about the deep shaking in the ground? Only yesterday we felt a rumble like none before. Well, it could be the giant serpent. The serpent in the sun? Radermer? I'm no holy man, but joking about dead gods feels wrong. About as opposite of Radermer as it gets. This one's determined to swallow us all. The Skald looks skeptical. Killing a Sunder is a big enough tale on its own for now. Well, then let's get ready to leave. Not to sound ungrateful, but this place, it's all we have. It's our home. I mean, if that's your choice, I'm the same way. I can respect that. I personally am a stand-your-ground type of human being. If you go down like that, at least you go down in the place that's your home. So I can understand it. I'll nod quietly. No. We didn't risk ourselves so the dredge could kill you tomorrow. The Skald looks around at the small huts of the village. Borsgard is the only place I've seen my entire life. This small village is all my family knows. Are things really as tragic as you're making them sound? Probably worse. Aleo looks back and forth between you and Ivor before nodding. Packing and tending to our dead will take some time, but I'll have everybody on the ship soon. Aleo heads off to the village to organize supplies. People thinking we're heroes now, huh? World really is breaking in more ways than one. Ivor, one of the giants known as Varl, has fought Dredge in the northern winters, personally killed the Sunder Rays, and lost an arm to Bellower. Yeah, in the previous game, he went out because he's a Sunder Slayer, which is kind of a ceremony. It's not a ceremonial title. It actually means that you've killed one of the great generals. And I actually don't recall. I think he said it was a fluke in the previous game. He actually killed him not by skill of combat, but by like an accident or something like that. He ended up killing him, and he just never told anybody, or something like that. Somebody will have to fill me in on that one. But either way, I remember there being some caveat to him killing Rays. And so anyways, people expected him to go out and fight Bellower, and he went out to fight Bellower knowing full well he was going to die. It was a pretty heroic scene. Like, it was a part of the game where you kind of hold your breath because, like, he's doing his duty. This is a game that's rough, man. This is a game that has a lot of themes and a lot of dark stuff going on. And so just get the waterworks ready for real. This game is one of the few that really elicits emotion from me. It's a rough one. You're going to have to make bad decisions, and there's going to be heroic characters, there's going to be villainous characters. It's very much a saga in the old way that people used to tell them back in medieval times and stuff like that, where it might not be a happy story. Like, a lot of bad things are going to happen along the way. He's been by your side through everything, including the death of your daughter. Now you feel the weight of his full attention. What you pulled out there, fighting the dredge alone, was that tied to a let at all? I feel like that's self-explanatory. Of course it was. Yeah, I'm going to be vengeful in this playthrough. They're going to pay for taking her from me. That's not much of a plan. I don't care about a feigned plan. They killed her. Bellower killed her. And we killed him. And she's still gone. I shouldn't have let her fire the arrow. So we had a magic silver arrow that was made for us by a mender, essentially a wizard, that was the only thing that could kill Bellower. Bellower's special ability is that he was basically immortal and indestructible. His special ability is that he was like Wolverine. He regenerates any damage you deal to him very, very quickly, so much so that you can't even focus fire him down. He'll just recover later and like regrow his body parts and stuff like that. And so anyways, the silver arrow was the only way that we could kill Bellower. Maybe that's why you charged into those dredge alone. You think you deserve to die? Only the lapping waves on the bank disturbed the silence. I felt the same way back on the bridge in Einertoft. And what changed your mind? I'm not sure what's changed. But these people, they need a leader. And that better be enough to change yours. He walks towards the village, leaving you alone with your thoughts. There's probably going to be a lot less joking in this series. Because it doesn't fit. Just a heads up. The traveling merchants are surprisingly well stocked, Ubin the old Varl, dubbed Scrivener, says. Since Borsgard our numbers have grown. People have scavenged for food and eaten it too. Regardless, we'll need plenty of supplies considering our destination. What kind of supplies? Ubin, I don't recall. I think Ubin... Well, anyways, Ubin ends up being our quartermaster, and I forget where we picked him up from. I think he just, like, was from our original town or something like that. Stuff like food and meat for the trip. The merchants have got a few interesting items as well, but folks can't eat those in lean times. You'll have to choose wisely. Even your renown will only stretch so far. And where can I find the merchants? You can't miss them, he says. A group of tents they call a market. Alright, well, thanks, Ubin. Of course, he says. Oh, I almost forgot. There's something ruffling the feathers of the ravens, the mercenaries who followed us from Borsgard. Chat with their leader, Bolverk, but be careful. He's not like the other Varl. Alright, so the medallion will give you information about your caravan, including population, supplies, renown, and the number of days that have passed. The banner indicates that you have enough supplies to provision your caravan for 9 days of resting or travel. A larger population requires more supplies per day to survive. You can acquire additional supplies at the market. Click on the market to see what's available. These are the supplies. It will give you 5 per renown, and you need 12 supplies per day to survive. This shows you what you have. Your 111 supplies will last for 9 days. You have 21 renown available to buy supplies. Okay, so we've got... I wonder if it's letting us start with any of the artifacts from the previous game, because we did have some pretty baller artifacts, too. Click this button to add 15 more supplies to your caravan. The area to the left will show how these supplies affect your caravan. So there's 15's worth right there. Markets also have items available. These items are equipped by your heroes and can provide a great advantage. The required hero rank is shown in the red circles. Alright, so we've got the Jarl Seal, the stamp symbolizing a chieftain's will passed down from father to son. And it looks like it does 1 will per turn, so you can regenerate willpower faster. We've got the Spordrecki Burr, a gleaming gemstone that seems to drive enemies into a frothing rage for no clear reason. Gives you some dodge and some aggro. Powder crushed from unusual rocks of the Nordfelling Wastes are often used to paint shields, adding to your strength, so that adds armor. Even the godless will hesitate to strike down the Loom Mother's chosen few. Gives you -2 to drawing aggro, so that would probably go on menders and wizards. And on this side, the figurine's broken shield reminds you of what needs to happen on the battlefield. Gives you 2 break talent ranks, 2 range distance, +2. That's really, really good. That's like solidly good. That's a really, really good piece of equipment. I'm going to step out of here. I don't really want to talk with anybody right now. Instead, I would very much like to take a look. So we came, if you're wondering where we've traveled from in previous games, we started out... trying to see if I recognize it. We came this way, if I remember correctly. And so we fought at Borsgard. There was a great battle at Borsgard where they had to fight their way across a bridge. This was kind of a... It was kind of like... I forget the name of the place where the Rohirrim in Lord of the Rings, they make their last stand. But it's essentially a castle on a mountain with only one bridge that leads into the castle. A very similar situation where it's the place you go to make your final stand because they have to fight across a bridge. We also went to Einertoft, and I think we went to Wormtoe. And actually, everything in here, by the way, is interactable. Like, this game has an amazing amount of lore. If you just want to sit and, like, click on things, you can learn all kinds of stuff. I think we went to Vetterfell, too. I think we kind of just, like, zigzagged down or something like that. I remember going to a lot of cities and things like that. So, anyways, little background there. Just in case you didn't know. And now you know. Normal caravan morale does not affect your hero's willpower in battle. Maintain sufficient supplies and rest in camp to improve morale. Red skull icon shows that some of your units are injured. Use the rest tent to pass time and heal. Full recovery may take several days. Morale is improved, and so it looks like we got smiles. Alright. I don't know how that helped out here. I'm actually looking for a place where I can powwow. I think there's like a gathering tent or something like that where you can look at your party members and mess with them, but maybe they haven't added it because we're in the tutorial or something. We've got a lot of renown. So what I may do is I may just supply up heavily, because the previous time when I played through the game, I had a lot of trouble keeping myself in food, and I was constantly just running out of food and supplies. And so that leaves me with 11. If I go down to there, I can still get Hagen's Fall. That will make Rook a lot better because he can add to his range skill. It'll make him armor break too, which is what I think I had him doing in the previous game. It will, however, cost us a day's worth of food. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to look at my character sheet, so I could try and figure out what they have going on right now, like what the game gave us as freebies by comparison to what we ended with previously. Well, let's talk with her. Oddleif, your former chieftain's widow, is demonstrating fletching an arrow to a few people as you approach. She's always had like a Galadriel thing going on that I like. Give us a moment, will you? The group walks away as Oddleif stands and wipes loose feathers from her tunic. I doubt you're here to explain your actions with the dredge. Do I need to? She looks at you in silence for a moment before clearing her throat. I wanted to discuss the clansmen. They're good at scavenging for food while we travel, but we could always use more fighters. But training them takes time. I'm not sure we have much more of that to spare. Then you'll just have to find a balance that works. We're okay for now, but who knows how our needs will change. Okay, thanks. You turn to leave, but Oddleif places a hand on your shoulder. We should talk, Rook. At some point. Talk about what? You. Not you the leader, but the man I knew from Skogar. She gives you a faint smile and returns to her fletching. I think I was beginning to level her, too, when I played the last game. Like, halfway through the game, I decided I wanted a second archer. One archer to kill armor and one armor to kill HP. And I think that's how I was running them. I think that we had Oddleif as our HP killer, and Rook was my armor killer, if I remember right. Good caravan morale causes a +1 willpower bonus in battle, maintains sufficient supplies and rest in camp to improve morale. Yeah, I think we already did that. The Varl mercenary leader Bolverk and a rather large female fighter are talking to Juno, a member of the Spell-Weaving Menders Council. Bolverk looks annoyed, but that's nothing unusual. There is no haggling on this. You already accepted the offer in Borsgard. Get this one to do it. Get me to do what? If Juno is surprised by your presence, it doesn't show. She continues to stare right at the Varl. Rook is seeing to the survival of this caravan, something I doubt you care to do. He won't be seeing to anything much longer if he keeps fighting like he did earlier. Again, what other task are you talking about? The determination will see these people safely to Arborang, but with respect, our discussion stays between us for now. Her look at Bolverk says she expects him to keep it private. Avon needs some help with healing the wounded, but we should leave soon. See Hakon at the dock when you're ready. Juno leaves without another word. Fane Valka. One of these days, Claw and Fang will get thirsty for Spellweaver blood. Claw and Fang? His axes. The large axe heads are polished, the blades sharp, and the cheeks scarred from plenty of use, but it's the gray handles that stand out. They're unlike anything you've ever seen before. How long are you going to let Juno tell you what to do? You avoid his goading. Only to Arborang. Then it's King Meinolf's job. Like he's got the answer to any of this. He'd royally piss himself if he ever saw the dredge. The pigtail fighter laughs. Have we, met? I'm Folka, shield maiden in charge of keeping the ravens alive. Bolverk gives her a stern look, but she doesn't back down. I already know who you are, chieftain. Do you have any better idea than Arborang? Yeah, make a new plan. You think some walls and a king are going to save you? Bolverk snorts and turns his attention to a large sealed cart behind him. His bear cloak back indicates the conversation is over. I guess so. That'll be our first episode of Banner Saga 2. My name is Splattercat. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and we'll take to market and see if there's anything we need to handle there. We'll stock up on supplies. I'll do a little bit of research and decide what's going to be the best thing. I mean, the game's not even out yet, so obviously I'm going to make some mistakes here. Strategically, I'm not very good at video games, especially strategy games. I tend to misclick and do a lot of dumb stuff in a huff. So, that being the case, please don't give me any guff. I'm just bad at video games, and I'm warning you now, walk away, find somebody else's playthrough. But if you wanted to hang out for a little while and play Banner Saga 2 with me, I'd be okay with it. Bye, everybody. This is the Banner Saga 2. Obviously, I'll have all the linkage down below if you want to get the game for yourself. See y'all later. Hi-do.